Despite how long-term disability insurance carriers may respond to claims made by brain injury survivors for long-term disability benefits, not everyone gets better after sustaining a traumatic brain injury. Recent long-term medical studies have concluded that the cognitive, physical, and emotional consequences of a traumatic brain injury, including a concussion, can result in long-term impairments. These studies establish, contrary to past opinions, that most symptoms of a concussion are not resolved within 3 months post-injury. And about half of individuals with a traumatic brain injury show long-term cognitive impairment, including those that have sustained what some described as a, quote, mild TBI, or a concussion lasting at least a year or often longer. In fact, many individuals who have sustained a brain injury may have long-term consequences which may impact their ability to hold a job. There is nothing mild about a brain injury. Brain injury is a chronic condition with long-term consequences. The Brain Injury Association of America has stated the chronic long-term effects of a brain injury are far and wide-ranging and can include fatigue, sensitivity to noise and light, memory loss, mobility problems, chronic migraines, trouble with focus and executive functioning, depression, anxiety, and susceptibility to conditions such as Alzheimer's disease, stroke, Parkinson's disease, and CTE. Anyone suffering the long-term consequences of a brain injury needs to determine if they are covered by a long-term disability insurance policy, which is typically provided by many employers as a group benefit or through an individually bought policy. It's important to understand that these policies are written with very stringent rules that must be carefully followed to qualify for benefits and may have short application deadlines. The application process can be complex, requiring submission of detailed medical records, statements from doctors, a neuropsychologist, therapist, rehabilitation specialists, and other professionals. If you are contemplating a personal injury action for the injuries you received, it's important to discuss your eligibility for long-term disability benefits with your attorneys. And I highly recommend your attorney be consulted early and even before you apply for benefits to guide you through and protect your rights. So here are some questions to help you and your attorney in identifying whether you are eligible for long-term disability benefits because of a traumatic brain injury or any other medical condition. What insurance benefits are you eligible to receive from your employer? Does your employer provide benefits for short-term or long-term disability? What is the application process? Who administers the disability insurance plan? What documents should you submit? Have you been diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury, a TBI, or any other medical condition that impairs your ability to work? Who made the diagnosis? What testing was done to establish your diagnosis? What symptoms have you experienced because of this condition? How does your condition affect your ability to perform daily activities, such as walking, lifting objects, concentrating, remembering tasks, or interacting with others? What treatment, medications, therapy, or rehabilitation are you undergoing or have you undergone for your condition? What is the expected prognosis of your condition, and has it improved or worsened over time? How does your physical condition or cognitive condition impact your ability to perform the essential duties of your job? Have you tried to continue working despite your condition? And if so, what challenges have you faced? Has a medical professional, such as your primary care doctor or a specialist, provided an opinion on your ability to work, considering your medical condition? Have you experienced symptoms related to your condition, and have they persisted despite treatment? Are your symptoms and your condition expected to be long-term or permanent? These questions can serve as a starting point for discussing your eligibility for long-term disability insurance benefits. In addition to long-term disability insurance benefits, you may be eligible for additional benefits, including Social Security disability. But the process of obtaining long-term disability benefits after a traumatic brain injury can be challenging. It involves understanding the details and conditions of your insurance policy, gathering all the evidence to support your claim, and properly and timely submitting these documents. To ensure your rights are protected, it's important to consult an attorney throughout this process. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to meeting with you again next week on a new edition of the Brain Injury Insider.